Good morning, boys and girls. It's Mr. S. How have you guys been? It's been a while. As you can see, I'm sequestered or quarantined to my garage. My wife sort of makes me live here now, and you can tell I don't get very good footage or coverage. But anyways, and I'm as you can see, I'm well prepared. I've even got wipes and stuff, so I've got that going for me. I've got my hand sanitizer, so I'm doing good here. And if you notice, I'm doing a little product placement here. I might get some kind of residual or some kind of extra payment for. Actually, I'm being sponsored by these companies. So, anyways, I know it's been a while, and I just want to chat for a few minutes and put this video up and give you something entertaining and just something to talk about. And I'll be honest, I hate talking into a camera, so I'm looking sort of beyond the camera at some pictures on my wall. Um, and just tell you where I'm at with a couple ideas. You're going to be getting stuff from school regarding grades and homework. I don't really want to talk about that right now. Um, what I do want to talk about, just to get something out there and as conversation, which is going to drive any kind of homework assignments between now and June, is AP testing. So here is my perspective, my opinion, my position, school position, parental position. I don't know how you want to look at this. And I know this is an awkward conversation because I wish I had you guys to give me feedback as we're talking and give me questions, but I'm just going to put it out here and I'm going to try to present both sides and the big picture. So there's sort of three different scenarios. There's AP psychology versus those who took econ first semester versus those who took econ or are currently enrolled in econ second semester. So let me real quickly just take care of econ for a moment, and then I'm going to talk philosophically because psych is probably the bigger issue since there's many more of you, and some of you have both. If you guys have gone online and looked anything about the test, it is a 45-minute take-home, open note, open book, open whatever test. When it comes to econ, those that I currently have right now, since we've only barely finished Unit 3, and the AP test is through Unit 5, my own personal opinion, and I've talked to many others, been online and to some adults in the school district and so forth, and if you were my kid, I would get my $100 back and not take the test. You have to teach yourself the last 2 units. There's no way I know how to do that online without face-to-face. I'm just old. I have to teach you face-to-face. This stuff is new to me. This is one of the reasons that I'm retiring, is because of having to teach this way. That being said, if you would like to learn it on your own, and there are plenty of websites, and I can direct you to places, but I would use that $100 for college next year. If you took econ last semester, the test is only on units 1 through 5, and it's basically 2 questions, 1 long FRQ, and the other question is 2 short FRQ. So it's 3 questions. And I believe the 2 shorts is worth 55 points and the 1 long is worth 45, or vice versa. But it's all on the AP Central website. That, between videos that are online, your notes, you can review, and I think many of you could do quite well on it. You have to remember, though, it's a 45-minute 2-question test. There is no graphing, from what I understand, on the test, in that you don't have to graph. But you have to be able to interpret graphs, you have to do calculations, there'll be a lot of more mathematical questions to show work and calculate. Is going to be what I think it's going to be. There's no multiple choice. So that's sort of the econ thing, and I plan to, in the next few days, put another video out after you guys get information about grades. That's videos that are class specific. So I might put one out that is for AP Econ versus AP Psych, and maybe even break Econ by first and second semester. Alright, now let's look at Psych. The Psych test covers chapters 1 through 15. We finished at chapter 14. We were going to test on 14. I think it's sort of an interesting illusory correlation that the question or the chapter that I finished on was health and stress as we go into a pandemic. That being said, you've covered 14 chapters. Chapter 15 is on personality. You can read that chapter, you can do notes on that chapter, you can copy terms on that chapter. That being said, the AP test in psych is 2 questions. One of the questions is on research methods. And off the top of my head, I believe that's chapter 2 in the book, or 2 and 3. There are videos online, YouTube videos with lectures being taught by AP teachers on research methodology and research methods. The other question is like the normal FRQs, which will have probably there's 7 or 9 bullet points or terms, and you're going to have to either give an example or do a compare and contrast or some kind of correlation or relation to a prompt. So out of the 2 questions, one of them they give you the topic up front. It's research methods. All right. All of that being said, I look at the AP test as this is strictly now a personal choice. I can't really teach you anything else. If we were going to be in the classroom and we just finished and we had a week or 2 before the AP test, review-wise, I would have us going over FRQs online. The College Board has websites, YouTube channels. I unlocked all of the units and all of the FRQs and multiple choice for both courses, Econ and Psych, on AP Central on my classroom. So all the tests are there. The multiple choice will get graded automatically. The FRQs are not graded. Apparently, I have to grade them if you send me a copy. And I've had one Econ student do that, and I don't know how well this is going to work because you guys taking pictures of your work is hard for me to read, and I'm not sure how we're going to make this work. And that'll be a topic for a video in the next couple days. This video is more just to talk philosophically about the test. I know many of you have worked really hard all year. You want to get college credit for this. I'm going to argue too, depending on whether you're a junior or a senior. If you're a senior, you're already into college. I'm going to argue whether you take the test or not, you're still getting to college. So if you want to save yourselves $100 and take psychology or econ in college again, do that. If you really need the college credit, then you study and review your brains out between now and the test dates in May, which have been pushed back by a couple weeks. So there's that side of it. If I'm a junior, yeah, you might want to take, but you also realize that every other junior in the country is in the same situation. And if you don't take AP Psych as an elective AP test and maybe focus your time more towards, I don't know, AP US, which is a much harder test, and that might be your choice. You're going to have to review this pretty much all on your own. And so one of the ideas I have is my homework assignments, which would be review assignments, which would be probably looking at doing stuff through my classroom, through AP Central, will be things to do to get you ready for the test that they've already have there. So I'm really lost at whether you should take the test or not. I think this is a strictly personal choice. You have to realize that you're going to be judged on 45 minutes and 2 questions. Personally, 2 questions is not a true measure of what you learned this year. Period. End of story. But every other student is in the exact same boat, so the courses or the test is going to be normed based on a lot of these factors. Who knows? This could be the one year it's the easiest year to get a 5 because everybody does well. Or if everybody does well because it's open note and open book, how are they going to really make the difference between a 5, a 4, and a 3? And I think that's the real tough spot. And that's the stuff that if I was in person, if I could teach you or work with you more, but at this distance, I'm not really sure how to do that. And I'm not really sure how an open note, open book, AP test is, I don't know. But the AP is doing the best that they can, and they just don't want to give up testing this year, even though they're giving up SAT and the state is giving up state testing. I think AP is trying to grab whatever money they can. The one thing I did find out is that you have got until the very last day before the test to decide whether you want to take it. So we've got like 6 weeks, 5-6 weeks before the test, 4 or 5, something like that. You've got time to review everything. I will set up a schedule of assignments by the week between now and the test that will say, you know, this week do units 1 and 2, and next week 3 and 4, and next one's 5 and 6, that kind of thing. And if you want to review for the AP test, I would suggest doing that, and that'll also get you the credit towards class grade, which is a whole nother conversation, but I'm waiting for the principal to send something officially to your parents before I talk about grades and homework. This talk was strictly regarding the AP test and whether I should take it or not. And as I said, in both classes, it's a 45-minute test. In AP Econ, it's 2 questions, 1 long and 2 shorts. And in Psych, it's just 2 questions. That being said, Psych students, you've had almost 14 out of the 15 chapters I've covered. So now it's really a matter of yourself, and it's open note. So you can create your own notes. You can have everything at your disposal. You can, and I think because of that, I don't know how they're going to, it's going to be, I think, really hard to see the difference of what is if it's a 3-point question, a 5-point question, the difference of the points on each question, which is going to determine the entire grade. Versus multiple choice is another story. And since our both tests are 2/3 normally multiple choice and 1/3 FRQ, they're taking the 1/3 and making that the whole grade. And out of that, instead of it being 60 minutes, it's now 45 minutes. So they're cutting, you know, a quarter of that down. So it's 3/4 of a third, if I have my math right. So I don't believe it. Again, this is now strictly my opinion outside of the classroom, and I'm in my garage. It's not a true measure. But everyone is in the same boat. The colleges are willing to give credit. The schools will move you on or use it for placement. So now it's whether you want the $100, whether you want to put the time in and do it and study for it, what your parents say. I think if you've worked hard all year and have invested the time, you go for it. I'm going to say if you're in Econ second semester, save the $100. I haven't taught you enough, and I really need to meet with you in person. If you were a first semester Econ senior, I was going to be having review sessions, AP Academies, where normally I would do the review, which I've done in the past, and that seemed to work. We don't have that option this year. There's plenty of material online, but again, I think you're going to have to make that personal call. If you didn't really felt like you knew it that well the first time around, I think it might be much harder. Those of you that liked it, grasped it, enjoyed it, want to get into it, I think you should really go for it. And I especially second semester, since we didn't even cover I didn't cover barely half of what's on the test. I just don't think that's fair. And that's strictly, again, your choice, but I might keep my $100. Psych, you've worked hard, go at it. If you didn't feel like you were that, how do I want to put it? You were the 3-ish, the 2-3-ish from the beginning. This might not be the best, or this might be a good chance. It's open note, open book, open whatever. You have all the options, all the tools available to you. So in some ways, it's going to make a very plain. The playing field is going to be very level. Let's put it that way, because everyone can use open book, open notes. That's the part I'm going to have a hard time, is how these questions are going to look like. So that being said, this will give you something to think about. I'll put a video out in a couple days after Wednesday when I hear about, I I know you guys have gotten grading information. I'll start talking about assignments and I'll post something online. Send me an email and let me know how bad this is. Send me any emails if you have any concerns. I also, I don't know. I think that's it. I'd say get some sleep, but you guys have had plenty of time for that. None of you should be too tired. I'd argue, if anything, you're more bored. I know I am, and I've lost a little interest in a few things. Like, it's taken me a while to make videos just because I don't know. It's hard without having the audience to talk to. So, that being said, guys, have a wonderful day. Looks like it may not rain. At least it's not raining right now. Get focused. Try to stay happy. Be one with yourself. And I'll put something out online in just a little bit. Talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.